to the new Change in the Map series, the series dedicated to updates of the global map. One of the longest continuous stories in this series is the ongoing transfer of Indonesia's capital from Jakarta to a new city. Jakarta had been the capital of Indonesia since their independence, as well as during colonial times back when they were the Dutch East Indies. But the city has grown so large and overcrowded that it was causing problems. Aside from the usual problems like congestion, pollution, traffic, etc., Jakarta was literally sinking. Since the 1990s, the area on the island of Java where Jakarta was sitting on had sunk by 16 feet. Some were speculating that if they didn't fix this problem by around 2030, the potential floods would be too difficult to manage without permanent damage to the city. So the thinking was, if you move the capital somewhere else, not only could it be on more stable ground, but it could also perhaps convince a lot of people to move out of the Jakarta area to the new capital to maybe hold the sinking back. In 2020, this series reported that Indonesia selected Borneo to be the location for their new capital, and that it would be a new city built completely rather than a pre-existing one. Then in February of 2022, they decided the name for this new capital would be Nusantara. They've been slowly transferring government functions and ceremonies to the city, but have not technically made it the official new capital yet. There was a plan to inaugurate Nusantara as the new capital on August 17, 2024 to celebrate Indonesian Independence Day, and I was hoping to release this video then. However, that did not happen. The president since has promised that he would move his offices to Nusantara and make it the official capital sometime this month in September of 2024, but there are still doubts. Even once you get past that, the plans for the city itself are said to be only 15% complete, and the full vision of the city won't be complete likely for at least another 2 decades, if not longer. But hey, they have an official app for the city's public services, so that's neat, I guess. But the problems don't end there. Naturally, there are environmental concerns of building such a large, massive city in the area right by one of the largest rainforests in the world. The city is planned to be a green city, but you're not going to avoid environmental impact of suddenly moving millions of people to a new location. There are also concerns from local indigenous communities in Borneo as well, but the project is far enough along where Indonesia isn't going to stop now, and this isn't even the only or oldest capital transfer happening with these issues. The one capital transfer that's been going on longer than Indonesia's is Egypt's. Egypt has also been making a new capital from scratch and also to alleviate the issues of an overly crowded Cairo. Longtime viewers of this series may be curious as to why I've never had an episode about it, and the reason is because this project has been ongoing since 2015, 3 years before this series even began. But hey, I might as well post an update. What progress has Egypt's new capital made? Have they picked a location? Yes! They're picking this spot right here, about halfway between the current capital of Cairo and the major port city of Suez. Have they picked a name for the new capital? No. For now, the current temporary name is simply New Administrative Capital. Has the government moved there yet? Not really. A few government ministries have moved there, but the majority have not, and part of this has slowed down due to COVID getting in the way a few years back. There's otherwise not much to report. The costs and logistics are huge, and while this is supposed to be complete by 2030, there is no official detailed timetable yet. But what has been built so far? Well, I'm not going to lie, this new capital has some record-breaking cool buildings. In 2019, they completed the iconic tower, which is now the tallest structure in all of Africa at 400 meters tall. Also in 2019, they built the Cathedral of Our Nativity of Christ, which is the largest Christian church in the Middle East, as well as the largest Oriental Orthodox church in the world. In 2022, they built the Grand Mosque, which has the world's heaviest dome and world's largest chandelier, and it could fit 135,000 people inside. I'm not gonna lie, the design of these two buildings do look really cool. So yeah, technically neither new capital is officially the new capital yet, but at least in Indonesia's case, if they don't delay it again, it might finally officially become the new capital by the end of this month. So that's something at least. I'm Emperor Tigerstar, and I'll see you guys next time.